Day 3. What other list is Oscar on? Allison asked. And I didn't hesitate to tell her everything that had happened to me during that time. How I'd come across that list of rules. How I'd first heard the creepy scratching noises that were driving me crazy. About how last night I was chased all over the woods by a crazy woman who looked like the spawn of hell. Allison took a deep breath and replied, "It's understandable. You know, Oscar, this has happened before. In fact, it happens to every new caretaker who is assigned to this tower. I don't know what to believe anymore. At first I thought maybe people just went crazy from being isolated from the outside world." What do you mean near the end? I asked. That's what it means. He just disappeared. Mark thinks he was tired and made the decision to quit the job. His rig was empty when he checked it. He didn't find any bags, his clothes, or Harvey himself. It's strange. He had lived here for a long time and absolutely refused to leave the forest. And now suddenly he decided to leave without warning? I find that hard to believe, Allison continued. Although, a few months before he disappeared, he became obsessed with a crazy woman, claimed he often saw her at night, but he never went into detail. If I started to ask anything, he just stopped talking. Like I said earlier, he didn't talk to me much. When I was looking for a job, the ad said there were no openings, but they were accepting applicants in case someone quit, so they knew there'd be a vacancy. To be honest, I didn't feel satisfied with the amount of information I was getting. I didn't know if she really didn't know much about all this, or if she was hiding something, so I decided to get to know her. Allison, what made you take this job? Well, I guess we're going to tell each other all our secrets this morning, aren't we? Allison grinned nervously. I remained silent, not letting her get away with the question, and she answered. Oscar, the thing is, my sister, she's missing in these woods, Allison said, her voice shaking. It happened right before I got this job here. I took this job, I don't know, to try to find her, to try to forget, or to try to help others who might possibly be lost. I don't know. Allison cried into the phone. Allison, I'm so sorry about your sister. I really am. I'm sorry that I upset you and reminded you of this misfortune. I wasn't going to ask her any more questions. I wasn't sure if she was hiding something from me or not, but we were friends now, and I wanted to keep it that way. I didn't want to become her enemy, and I lay on my bed all day until evening and didn't even sleep. I was just trying to make sense of all the information Allison had shared with me. By the way, maybe the camera will give me some answers. The camera I found yesterday was now charged. I turned it on and the screen showed 3 options: photos, gallery, settings. I chose gallery. There were a few pictures of some lake, a house, a car, nothing that would help me. Flipping through them at a fast pace, I happened to notice an image of a tower. Stop! That's my tower I'm in, and at its base stands a family of 3. The father has dark hair. It's pretty long, and he looks like he hasn't had a haircut in about 5 years. Big, strong guy. The mother, blonde, with a beautiful smile, her hand on her husband's shoulder. The third person in the photo with them is a child. It's a boy with short brown hair and a striking resemblance to the supposed father. I keep looking through the photos, but I don't see the family together anymore. Just the man. He was taking selfies inside the tower, taking pictures of the view, the outhouses, and some of the trails. Could it be Harvey? Or Rick? If it's Harvey, then the photos got even more mysterious. The next photo is clearly a bunker. That bunker I found nearby, dug into the ground with only a sleeping bag in this camera. Only in the photo it looks unfinished, like construction in progress. Whoever had this camera must have been building it. Allison said Harvey was just a normal person and didn't notice anything strange about him, right? Why the hell would he build a bunker in the woods, and so close to his tower? In my opinion, all the weirdness is just in plain sight. Okay, more on that later. The next picture is of a tree barely visible in the dark. Then 4 or 5 pictures. Also this tree. There's a shadow at the base of the tree. Strange, distorted. Harvey, or someone else, was trying to take a picture of something. And that something was probably that crazy woman. Suddenly I heard crying coming from downstairs. What time is it? It's 2 in the morning. What the hell is going on downstairs? It's a woman crying. It doesn't sound too close, but I'm sitting. My flashlight was off as the crying grew louder. I crouched down, carefully squatting from bush to bush, tree to tree. The air was very misty and cool, and got even colder the farther I moved. When I looked out from behind a tree, I saw her. She was sitting by the tree with her hands covering her face and crying. She was next to me. Her hair was dark, very dirty and wet, although I couldn't see everything too clearly. She was wearing a dress that seemed clean and undamaged. Her arms, oh God, they were twisted or broken. I don't know. Her pale white skin was literally glowing in the dark. My walkie-talkie. I quickly put my head down to turn it off and the crying stops. I'm still looking at my walkie-talkie. Damn, she heard me. I can't look up. I feel sick. I force myself to raise my head though and slowly look up at her. She's looking at me. Her eyes are hollow, dark, wide. They look lifeless. Her eyebrows are raised. She smiles. Her smile is unnaturally wide, all over her face and even wider than should be possible. There is a sweat of tears on her face. They are still dripping down her sharp cheekbones, then down her thin. I've had enough. I'm going to run. I can't take my eyes off her, but I'm trying to convince myself to do it. Damn it. I stare at her for about half a minute, and she doesn't move. Her eyes are still looking at me, her smile sinister. Just as I'm about to work up the courage to turn my back on her and run, the branch under my feet breaks. I look down, then back at her again, but she's gone. This is my chance. I turn and run without looking back, dodging trees. I stumble, but I don't fall. Where could she have disappeared to so fast? The tower is close by. I race up the stairs, climb quickly, and break into my cabin, slamming the door. I don't hear anything. I look out the window. There's no one downstairs. Shit! I jump on my bed, turn on my lamp, and cover myself with a blanket. I try to calm down and catch my breath so I can clearly hear all the extraneous noises. There doesn't seem to be anyone. It's completely silent. I peek out from under the blanket, working up the courage to contact Allison on the radio, as I immediately notice the muddy footprints on the day 4. I know she's there. I can feel it. She's under my bed. I thought about the rules. Did they say anything about this? There are 2 rules that might have worked, but I don't know which one to follow. Rule 6. If you wake up and see a creepy, smiling woman looking at you through your window, hide under a blanket and hold your breath. She will enter your cabin, and you will feel her breath next to you, as if she is looming over you. Don't breathe. It will only last a few seconds. Be patient. As soon as you feel her leave, immediately turn on the main light. Or Rule 9. If at any point you come back to your tower and realize there's someone inside, run. Don't stop until you get to a nearby caretaker. Don't look back. She'll chase you. Should I hide under a blanket until she leaves like in Rule 6? Or should I run because she's probably here right now? As in Rule 9? Hell! She was already inside when I came in, so it's Rule 9, right? I can hear her. Not well, but I can hear her. It's like when someone tries to move slowly and not make a noise. A second later, there's a small cracking sound, similar to fingers being crunched. Got it. I jump out of bed and run out the door, which slams deafeningly behind me. I don't see her because I don't turn around. Running quickly, and I'm already halfway down the stairs. I hear a rumble above me. The door slams again. Apparently she has left the cabin too. I'm at the bottom of my tower and I hear footsteps on the stairs. She follows me. I start running down the path toward the bunker. Behind me I hear the squishing of dirt and the rustling of grass, and those sounds get louder and closer. She catches up with me. I reach the bunker and quickly open it. With difficulty I climb down the ladder, remembering to slam the hatch shut. I can hear her. She's walking around upstairs, next to the manhole cover, rustling the grass, walking probably in circles. Her low moans make me freeze, and the hairs on my body stand up when she suddenly starts screaming too. I'm in the corner of the bunker. I look at the hatch, but I can't see anything through the darkness. She's still outside. I can hear her movements. Maybe she didn't see me go down into the bunker, or doesn't know it exists at all. This must be where Harvey slept when he was away for a long time, in the tower. Allison said she didn't know where he spent those last few nights. Maybe that's the place she was talking about? I don't know, and I can only guess. I can't hear anything now. It's been about 20 minutes. I think she's gone, but I'm done. I won't act like an idiot again. I'm going to stay. I finally managed to fall asleep and woke up in the morning to the sound of the wind and birds singing outside. So, the memories of last night still terrify me. Looking back on my decision to figure out what was happening to me here after all, I feel stupid. I'm not sure if it was the lack of sleep, but but I'm not going to make that decision again. I'm going to be a stickler for the rules. Morning. I'm still in the bunker. Finally, I do work up the courage to open the hatch above my head and look out, blinded by the sunlight after sitting in darkness for an incredibly long time. It's okay. There's no one around. Careful not to make any sudden movements. I climb out and head towards my tower. I quickly climb the ladder as I suddenly hear a voice behind me. Hey! Hey! I almost shit myself with fright, turning around and almost falling down the stairs. There's a girl standing at the base of my tower. She has brown hair, is wearing glasses, and has a large back. I squeeze out a weak smile and nod. Just a little startled by the surprise, that's all. I thought it was Mark, or his son, who must come here from time to time. She laughs. They usually do. I've only recently started helping them. You're actually my first stop today. I'll be visiting the caretaker next door later. Nice to meet you. Oscar! I didn't want to tell Samantha everything that had happened over the past few days. I didn't want to scare her and make her think I was crazy. After she left for Allison's, I lay on my bed all day, trying to rest, both mentally and physically. It's getting darker now. I feel determined to find out what's going on in these woods. Don't get me wrong. I'm scared to death. Maybe I made the wrong choice. I'm out here on my own. I don't know who to trust. Maybe Allison? She's probably not telling me a lot of things, but I don't have much choice in who I trust or who I don't. My regular rounds went off without incident, and I'm glad of it. Right before I went to bed, I contacted Allison to ask her a question I was. Oscar. Hi, Allison answered a few seconds later. I was just going to say goodnight. I don't know. I've only met his son in person. Why? Okay, nothing. I was just curious. Are you okay? Oscar, did something happen? I'm fine, Allison. Just a little tired. Can't talk anymore. Good night. What am I supposed to think? Samantha was supposed to visit her today, and even if she wasn't Mark's daughter, Allison would still say that a girl came to see her and brought her some groceries, basic necessities. She didn't say anything about it. I'm still terrified, but I know what I need to do. These rules are my lifeline. They will ensure my survival, so I must follow them without hesitation. And that is now more than ever. Just in case, I keep my shoes on when I go to bed, and remember to turn on the lamp before I turn off the main light. I lay in bed for about 30 minutes or so. Then I heard it. Someone scrambling again. Rule 7. If you hear someone scrambling, no matter where the sound is coming from, turn off the radio station and hide under the covers until the sound stops. The scrabbling is quiet, and it sounded like it was happening somewhere on the stairs, if not at the very bottom, near the outhouse where the groceries are stored. I immediately rush over to the radio and turn it off. I check to make sure my little radio is off. Quickly, I go back to my bed and hide under the covers, but the sound continues. It gets louder. The sound is slow and prolonged, like the sound of a nail being driven across a wooden board. Each of these sounds is followed by about 10 seconds of silence, and then someone scrapes again, but now it's closer than the last time. Soon I hear scrabbling right next to me, as if by my bed. I hold my breath and close my eyes. No rules. I'm just scared as hell. The next scramble, longer than the others. It's either right next to my bed or at the door of my cabin. I don't know. I'm already really bad at thinking, but I'm not going to move. The sound stopped after about 10 minutes. I don't know how my heart could stand the fear. All I can hear now is the rustling of the trees below as the wind rustles the leaves and branches, creating an atmospheric sound just outside the walls of my hut. I had already made the decision to stay in my hiding place for the rest of the night, just in case, when suddenly I heard another sound. Quiet footsteps. Each quick clatter on the steps was heard louder and louder. By the time I realized someone was running up the stairs, in my panic, I forgot the rule. Instinctively, I jump out of bed and run to the light switch. I turn it on and the sound immediately stops. I freeze, standing at the switch, expecting something to happen now, but nothing happens. Shivering, I approach the list of rules I kept on the nightstand by my bed. Picking it up, I check to see if I've done the right thing. Rule 5. At night, if you hear someone running up the stairs of your tower, turn on the main light and don't turn it off until morning. If you don't do this by the time she is at the top, it will be too late. Thank you, Lord. I knew having the main light on was part of most of the rules, and I'm insanely glad I did the right thing. I look out the window and don't notice anything suspicious downstairs. I look toward the stairs, but nothing is happening there. Absolutely nothing. Complete silence. It's been about 2 hours since something or someone tried to climb my stairs, and I'm definitely not going to sleep tonight. So, I decide I'm going to use this time wisely. I grabbed a map and intensely started studying the neighborhood, memorizing all the routes near my tower so I know them like the back of my hand. Plus, I learned something new. I managed to find the shortest route to the neighboring tower. It should take the least amount of time, in case of an emergency escape. While I still think I can trust Allison, I still really want to meet her in person. I want to see her and talk to her, face to face, without holding onto the radio handset. I've decided that I'm definitely going to go to Allison's tower tomorrow to find out. And that's it. Day 5. I got up early, only slept for a few hours, but at least that's something. In fact, I'm too excited to pay attention to it. I packed my backpack. I took some food, water, a flashlight, a walkie-talkie, a trail map, and my machete. I also took my camera to see if Allison could confirm if the man in the photos was indeed the same Harvey. Sunlight shone over the sprawling trees. I've never admired a sunrise here before because I was usually either asleep at that moment or scared to death and didn't care. But now I'm looking at all this beauty and it's a mesmerizing sight. I decided not to tell Allison that I was going to come to her tonight, even though I trust her to some extent. I still decided not to warn her in advance of my plans, just in case. I lace up my shoes and head over to Allison's tower. The walk should take about 2 hours. Judging by the map, the route is relatively straight, and I don't expect many steep climbs, gullies, or anything like that ahead. As I stepped outside my area and into the area that belongs to Allison, I noticed a stark difference. The thing is that part of the forest is divided into zones, and each ranger has his own, with many routes and trails. Along these, it is the caretaker's responsibility to patrol and cut down dangling branches and bushes as needed. If this is not done in a timely manner, the trails will simply become overgrown. However, as I moved on to Allison, I noticed that the trails in her area were in very poor condition. To be honest, they had apparently never been monitored at all. I pulled out my machete and started cutting ahead, continuing to follow the barely visible paths. It was tedious work, but I wanted to make sure the trails would be visible and easy enough to pass when I needed to walk back. I had already pretty much lost motivation and was starving by the time I reached its tower. Instead of taking 2 hours to get there, it took me a full 5, all because of the work I had to do to clear the paths. However, I still made it in the end. The tower was exactly the same as mine, the same layout with a shack on 4 stilts hidden in a small clearing in the woods. Her restroom in the courtyard was on the opposite side, but her food storage was in the same place as mine, just to the left of the base of the tower. There was one major difference, however, that I noticed immediately. The remains of a massive hearth-like fire 30 meters from her tower, circled with rocks. It looks like someone used it not too long ago, considering our job is to make sure there are no fires in the forest. This is a bit odd, isn't it? I climb up the tower, stepping on the steps as quietly and carefully as possible, unlike how I normally do it, partly because I don't want her to think it's a smiling woman running up her stairs, but mostly because I'm very nervous. Reaching the top, I already realize that there is no one in the hut. It looks like no one has been in it for a long time. There are old birds' nests on the roof of the tower, threads of cobwebs entangling the railings and corners, and dust is literally everywhere. I'm about to open the door, but it's locked. It's weird. My cabin doesn't have a lock at all. I look through the glass, squinting to see something through the thick layer of dust on the window. It's dark, and even darker than it should be. I see a large radio on the table, next to a stack of old newspapers. The bed is in disarray, unmade. A bag peeks out from under it, probably her backpack. From what I can see inside, there is nothing to keep her occupied during the day. No books, no receiver, no magazines. How is she not crazy in here? I decide to radio her. I didn't come all this way just to get away with nothing. I turn it on and say, "Allison, come in." "Hey, hello." I get a quick response. "What's up, Oscar?" "Hey, fine," I reply. Deciding to sort things out a bit before letting her know I'm around, I ask her, "Where are you right now?" "I'm at my tower." "Why?" She replies, "What's the big deal?" She's just lying to me. Okay, I get it. No big deal. Just clarifying, and now I'm lying, trying to hide my trembling voice behind a fake calm. "Just met some vacationers on the edge of my zone. I thought I'd warn you. I'll deal with them myself. I don't want to distract you." No answer. Is she buying it? Does she believe me? Allison, don't shut up. Answer me. Did you hear me? I just need to know. Yes, Oscar, I heard you. Call me if you need anything. It's really nice of you to check up on me. Thank you for that. Okay, I'll see you later. Allison. Thank you? Damn it. I think she believes me. I decided to climb down from the tower and hide behind the trees nearby. Maybe she was just heading back to the tower and was quite close, so she said she was already there. It could just be a misunderstanding. So I'm going to look into the situation and see what happens. It's been over 30 minutes. She still hasn't shown up. It's suspiciously quiet. No animals rustling, no birds singing, nothing, just silence. While waiting, I decided that if she didn't come back soon, I would just break into her cabin. I have no idea if this is legal or not. Technically, it's my employer's property. I'm assuming it's still illegal, but I need to find out, and I need to do it soon, before it gets dark. Rising again, I strike the rusted lock with the handle of my machete. A loud thud breaks the eerie silence, followed by the creak of the door as it swings open, and I freeze for a second, expecting something to happen. Nothing. I step inside. Dust rises up and hits my nose, and I can barely contain myself from coughing and starting to sneeze. I need to calm down and make this quick. I walk over to the stacks of newspapers, and on the topmost one, a large printed headline catches my eye immediately and gives me chills. Hiker's sister's missing. I look at the article and it talks about these woods. 2 sisters are missing in it. Could one of them be Allison's sister? She had just recently informed me that her sister was missing. I flip through the rest of the papers, and most of them repeat over and over that the 2 sisters are still missing. Then flipping through the next newspaper, I saw an article about one of the sisters being found after being reported missing for a long time. The article said that one of the sisters had been found alive and relatively healthy, while the other was still missing. It said they got lost in the woods. One of the girls was later found, but the other was not. Allison didn't mention being lost with her sister. If this was about her, did she think it was too personal, or was she lying? I turned my attention to the document lying beneath the papers, in a clear file. Inside, a single sheet of paper. It is entitled Oscar. Following it is information about me. I shared with her information about my divorce and why I got the job, told her how old I was. Maybe she keeps it all just so she doesn't forget. That doesn't make any sense. Wait, but how does she know that much detail? I mean, we've never met. How would she know what I look like? There's something pretty damn weird going on here. I turn my attention to the bag under the bed. It's a large backpack in a dark blue color. I pull it out and open it. Inside are clothes. From what I can see, it's men's. T-shirts, hiking pants, rain gear. I dig deeper and find a hammer and then a wrench. Nothing out of the ordinary there. The next item I pull out is a pair of sunglasses. It's engraved on the side, HR. If those are someone's initials, they're definitely not Allison's. Someone else's. I reach my hand to the bottom of the bag and feel a small metal object. I pull it out, and it turns out to be a pocket knife. It's a very nice knife, custom made by the looks of it. It has a golden outline, streaked with a mixture of wavy, silver and black patterns. It has some kind of inscription on it too, in small letters. To my love, to you, Harvey. Whoa! What is Harvey's knife doing in her possession? It's obviously his stuff. That's where things went after he disappeared. I don't take anything. Otherwise she'll realize I've been here. But I make the decision to leave quickly. I don't feel safe. As I rise from my squat to leave, I suddenly hear a familiar voice behind me. Allison's voice. Hey, all she wants is for you to smile. Day 6. After I heard the voice behind me, I was literally shaking with fear and surprise, but there was nowhere to run. Gaining courage, I slowly turn around and see a girl standing behind me on the threshold of the front door. She's a little shorter than me, with messy hair sticking out in all directions. She's dressed in long, light brown, hiking pants that are stained with dried mud. Even more tattered is her light red, plaid shirt. It's very crumpled, and also torn in several places. Her face is normal, or at least human, and I'm even a little relieved by it. The bright blue eyes are a great contrast to the red, bloodshot whites. It's like she hasn't slept in weeks. She's also very thin. In a word, she looks terrible. You must be Allison, I almost stammered. What do you mean? All she wants is for you to smile? And who is she, anyway? She just wants you to smile, Allison replied, looking at me with a crazy look. Okay, stop, Allison. What's going on? Can you finally explain it to me? I'm about to lose my mind with all the damn things that are going on here, and you're always talking in riddles. Are you okay? You look terrible, to be honest. Allison walks silently toward the bed. I circle around as soon as she starts to move. Now, I'm standing at the door. That's a good start. She sits down on the bed and stares at the dusty floor. I notice the tears streaming down her face. We got lost in the woods that day, Allison swallowed. We searched for a long time for a way back, wandered for weeks, and tried to call for help, but no luck. I eventually escaped and she didn't. I couldn't tell them what I'd done, but it was awful. And now Allison stopped talking. What did you do? Allison, what? I'm screaming. She said it's gonna be okay. Allison, they're gonna find us. Allison. But they didn't. For so long they looked for us, damn it. But they didn't find us. We were so thirsty and hungry. My sister was always so positive, always smiling. We tried to catch some critters to satisfy our hunger, but we couldn't. Okay, Allison. I understand that you tried to find something to eat or catch, but you failed. So what happened next? Silence. She raised her head sharply and looked up. I even jumped a little, but she kept talking. She looked up at me smiling as I pushed her. I pushed her far away, towards the ravine. I don't know why I did it. It was a moment of weakness, a moment of hunger. She fell and probably broke her leg. I was very hungry. I looked down. It was already dark, but I could see she wasn't moving. She had a smile on her face. Lived with a smile on her face and walked away smiling. My insides clenched. Damn it! Did she do this to her own sister? Or is she out of her mind and just talking nonsense? I've heard of hunger making you do crazy things for food, but this is the first time I've heard of it. But after I pushed her, I couldn't do it, Allison added, looking at me with those same crazy eyes. A few days later, they found me. Even though I was afraid of her, I felt a kind of sympathy for Allison. I looked at her, and I felt sorry for her. I really did. But I didn't know what it was really like. Not really knowing what was going on or what to expect from her now. What if she went crazy with grief, and then what? My only means of communication was my walkie-talkie, but I doubted Allison would let me use it. Run? Where to? I'm not 100 meters from a roadway. Damn it! I'm in the middle of the woods. And then, she came to me, Allison whispered, looking down at the floor and another tear rolling down her cheek. Who came? I asked, hoping it wouldn't be who I thought it was. My blood ran cold with anticipation. My sister. She was still smiling then. Was still hungry, Allison muttered. She's getting revenge on me. And she's getting revenge on you, you fucking bastard, she screamed. Allison stood up, looked around and added, and revenge on all of you. I took a small step back, walking out of the cabin, not taking my eyes off Allison. What did I do? I asked. She blames you all. You were the ones who couldn't find her. But now she's found me, and I won't lose her again. Allison starts to walk slowly towards me. Allison, what are you saying? I didn't work here, much less participate in the search. What the hell are you talking about? I've never been in these woods before. I start to panic, taking steps backwards. Allison, we can help you. It's gonna be okay. Trust me. She gets hungrier every time. She's never fully satisfied. There's no way out! Harvey even developed 10 rules to save himself, but it didn't work for him. Now Allison is starting to smile for the first time. Oscar, she's very hungry now, too. She lunges at me with a squeal and her arms outstretched. Fortunately, she's very thin, and I realize she's easy to overpower. I turn her sideways and push her away from me in a swift motion. She stumbles over the threshold and her foot slips down the stairs. She loses her balance. There's a loud wooden clatter, and then she falls. It all happened fast. I heard her roll down the stairs, and she didn't even scream once as she fell. I'm scared to look down. What the hell have I done? Shit. I get up off the floor and walk down the stairs, hoping she's alive. On the way down, I find a crumpled piece of paper lying on the stairs. I quickly pick it up and continue down. When I reach the ground, I look around, but I don't see Allison. On one hand, that's good. It means she's alive. But on the other, Allison? Where are you? It was an accident. I didn't mean to push you, but you attacked me and I was forced to resist. Where the hell are you? How could she even run anywhere, or even leave, after falling like that? I can't stay here any longer. I need to get back to my tower before it gets completely dark. I want to pack all my things and get out of these woods. Otherwise, either I'll go crazy or something even worse will happen to me. I run back to my tower, stop briefly to catch my breath, and run again. I have to make it to dark by all means. Allison is fucking insane. She attacked me. I use self-defense. Even if I hurt her, I'm not guilty either way. Whoa! She said Harvey made 10 rules. The sheet I found in the cabin only had 9. What the fuck is the 10th rule? And at that very moment, I remembered the sheet I'd picked up on the stairs of Allison's cabin. Apparently it had fallen out of her pants. Without thinking, I pulled the tattered piece of paper out of my pocket. I unfolded it, and I shuddered. Rule 10, don't trust. Never trust Allison. I'm still running backwards. My strength is almost gone, but I can't stop anymore. I don't hear someone following me, but I can definitely feel someone watching me. I can see my tower. It's almost dark. I don't know how I'm going to get to my car, and I don't want to walk through the woods at night, and I can't physically run. So, I decide I'm going to sleep in the bunker. It's obviously not safe to be in the tower at the moment. Now, I'm pretty sure that's where Harvey spent his nights when he wasn't in the cabin. I think that's the key to how he was able to hide in those woods for so long. Plus, the bunkers saved my life before. It's the best option. First, I'll go up to the cabin, grab my backpack and stuff, and run straight to the bunker. I should also grab some food and water. I'm on the verge of passing out from dehydration. Finally, my tower is in front of me. I quickly run up the stairs and literally fly inside. I frantically gather my things and turn to leave. But suddenly I start to hear something. I hold my breath and stop moving. Listening, I hear a scratching sound somewhere outside. Rule 7. If you hear any scratching noises, whether in your cabin or outhouse, turn off all radios and hide under a blanket until the scratching stops. What's the point of following this rule? After all, she knows I'm trying to leave. I froze in place, hoping the scratching would stop, thinking that if it didn't, I would still have to follow the rule. Thankfully, that sound stopped after a few seconds, but now I can hear footsteps on the stairs.